Hi, how's everyone? I hope everyone is doing well. Today I will be talking to you about how to make wealth out of using trading robots. Trading robots, which are also called expert advisors. This one is called Lazy Boy Ultimate, and this works on MetaTrader 5. You can get it. You can get MetaTrader 5 from mql5.com. There is basically two very well-known platforms. One of them is MetaTrader 5. So once you get this code, you can get it from our site for free, and you can do back testing. And then when you decide to purchase it, we will send you the first field, which is here, which is the password. Then you can use it with a live account, whether it be a demo account or real account. So as long as you use it only for back testing, then you can use it for free, no problem. You can download it from the website. You can email me your email address, and we will send you a copy right away. Now, for the input fields, which basically most people require to, and most people actually get confused with these fields and what they mean and what they do. That's why this video is to explain everything about this EA. And also will give you a very good idea about other EAs and how they work and the concept of EA. So basically, first field, which is the commodities market, basically we need to set this to true because we're dealing with gold. Second, here we have the lot size. If you have 500 to $1,000, maybe with 1,500, maybe 2,000, you should stick to 0.1. And it's better to have your leverage at 100, not more than that. And as you can see here, I have 10,000 as deposit, and you have to use 1 minute. You can use whichever time or period you want. But we go back here, and then so we say the lot size is 0.1. The more money you have, then you can increase the lot size. Second, which is the use lot percent. This first field is fixed, but if you want to use a dynamic lot size based on the percentage of your balance, So for example, if I want to use that, I'll set it to true, and then I'll say use 1%. 1% out of my balance, then it will always use 1%. So if my balance is say 10,000, I will use for example 1. Then if it goes to 20,000, then we'll use 2. If it goes to 100,000, I'll use 10. So this is dynamic, so I'll just switch that off back. Next, which is use dynamic lot size. Now, this is a bit similar to the one before, but it's in its term, it's a bit different as well. If I enable the use dynamic lot size, then I have to use, I have another option here that differentiates this option from the one before. So what I would say is use a dynamic lot size, for example, 0.1 out of my balance, percentage of my balance, but only activate that if I have $10,000 and up. So if I have $5,000, this will not be activated if I set this to true. Even though it's true, but because I still didn't reach the $10,000, then it will not be activated. If I want to change this to whatever I want, $5,000, so when my account reaches $5,000, then I will start using this. If it doesn't reach, then so this is the only difference between here, this option, and the one before. So let's set that back to false. Now the next field, which is, or the next portion, which is enable multi-position. Multi-position is very, very powerful tool. Instead of opening only one position at a time, multi-position will actually multiply this exact position 10 times, for example. 5 times. Whatever you specify in here. So I can say 5 times. Then whenever this system will open one position, I will multiply it 5 times. So open 5 positions if I set this to true. Now I can also use with it percentage of my balance. Also I can use a percentage preset. I can use preset for the percentage of my balance, the lot size, which based on a percentage of my balance. If I want, I can use presets. I have many presets here, about 12 of them, or I can use my own. So I can use my own loss factor, gain factor, probability factor. Now, what are the loss factor, gain factor, probability factor? Basically, I tell the EA if my loss is 80 points, then we trigger something. If my gain is 120 points, then we'll trigger something else. Now, what is 80 point and 120 point? Basically, this based on the lot size. So if I turn this multi-position back off, I said my lot size is 0.1 here. Now, if I say my loss factor 80, and my gain factor is 120, that means I multiply the 80 by the 0.1, it will give me only 8. So if the price moves 8 points, which is, for example, 2080, and it moves 2088, so now it moved 8 points, or it was 2080 and it went down to 2872. So that means it moved 8 points. Now the 120 also I will multiply by 0.1. It will give me 12 points. 12 points means the price moved up $12 or moved down $12. Now this movement, what is the gain factor and loss factor decide? Basically this, it tells the EA, once I have this amount of money, take the profit. Once I have this amount of loss, then we take some action. This action will be based on some of the other portions here we'll explain later. Now, what is probability factor? Probability factor, basically it weighs the options or weighs the text that comes in and see which and this works with the loss factor. It doesn't work with the gain factor, only loss factor. Now, how do I decide on this number? Basically, I'm giving you a hint. If you have IC markets, you can use 240. If you have FX choice, those are brokers, then you can use 90. Now, what if I don't have these brokers? I have different broker. Then I can use optimization. Now, optimization, you have to go in settings, and you see here optimization, and you say I want fast optimization, because if you use other stuff it will be too long. And you select the period. I have it from beginning of 2021 to today's date. So if I go back in here, then you will see that these tick marks are now enabled. Before I couldn't put a tick mark here. Basically, what this tells the program is I want to optimize this factor. So I turn everything off. You can see all tick marks are off, only leaving this tick mark on, and then I will go and say start. Now it will start and it will try all the numbers that you put in here. So I say start from 1. Step 1 means 1, 2, so increase by 1. This is my step. And then I would say stop at, instead of 900, I would say stop at 1000. So try 1, probability factor 1, try 2, try 3, try whatever, all the way up to 1000. Now when it tries that, it will actually give you how much profit it's making. So by doing this, you can figure out what is the best number for the probability factor. You can actually do this with every other field here. You can also use, for example, gain, and you can start also from, say, $1 or 1 point, and step by, for example, also 1, and stop at 5,000 is too much, so I would say if I have a 100 point, for example. So from 1 to 100, sorry, I want a 1,000 point. Why? Because I might multiply this by the 0.0, so it will give me 100. So if I do that, only selecting this check mark, and then I'll do start, then I will also do optimization. I will give you the best number that you can use, the best gain factor. You can do this with every other setting here. So we'll go back here and set this back to disable. This is if I want to test. If I want to optimize, then I use one of these options. So back to inputs. Now we have talked about this. Now you can use your broker from here. You can choose it. I have 2 brokers so far, but really this is just for you to see. It has no effect. Now the next field, which is prevent loss patterns from trading and allow gain patterns only trading. These are set to false for now because these are advanced options that are not enabled for now, because it needs a lot of testing and a long period to test what patterns are doing well, what patterns are not doing well, because this EA is actually based on patterns. This EA is not based on any indicator, it's not based on anything. It's our own patterns taken for almost 14-15 years, winning patterns, and then we digitize these and we put them in zeros and ones, and then we hard code them in our EA. That's why we have a huge database, almost 18,000 entry. So don't use those. Make sure they're all false because we don't have enough data yet. What I mean, we don't have enough data. We have enough patterns, but we did not try these patterns with a long time with a lot of people. We need to get feedback from people which patterns worked better, which one didn't work, and then we can hard code them in the EA, and then we can use these 2 options. But for now, don't use those 2 options. Make sure they're all false. Now the next portion, which is hedging system. Now hedging system you only need it if you have a position that is experiencing loss. So if you have a position that is experiencing loss, if you enable this to true, then I tell the system, the EA, to activate the hedging system, which will act upon that. And we have few options. Basically, you have passive, active, and dynamic. Now, you can see here hedging loss factor, hedging recover factor. What does this mean? Basically, it says if I have 40 points loss, means $40 drop. That's not in my favor. So if I have a buy position, but the price dropped $40, or I have a sell position and the price increased $40, so that's when this system will kick in. Now what will this system do? It will actually open a counter position. So if you have a buy, it will open sell. And why is it doing that? It's doing that to balance your account, because if you don't, then your system your account will go in minus and keeps going in minus if the price keeps going against you. And then sooner or later you'll hit margin call. If you hit margin call, basically you'll lose most of your money. Now this system only for protection, as I said. Now here, what is this? This is the recovery factor. So I'm saying if this position, after you opened a counter position after 40 points, and then the main position started to recover, then I want you to close the counter position and only leave the main position because it's recovering. And this is a recovering factor. Also, this is by points. Now, also, you can go to optimization, select one of these, fast, for example. I always use fast, and then take this and make sure just to get the best factors for the hedging mode. Now, what is passive? What is active? What is dynamic? Passive is basically a opening a counter position that does not do anything, only waits until the main position is recovered. Now, the active position actually, when it opens a counter position, it will actually take gains. So if it's because we opened, for example, we had a losing buy and the price is dropping, so the system will open a sell. Now, if the price keeps dropping, the sell will actually gain money. So this active condition will actually take the profit and then open again another sell. And then when it sees another, excuse me, when it sees another profit, it will actually take it again and open another sell. Excuse me. So the active is totally opposite of passive mode. And the last one is actually a combination of passive and active. So we'll open two positions instead of one. Excuse me. So we'll open two positions instead of one. One is passive and one is active. The passive will stay holding, will not do anything until the main position recovers. And the other position will actually keep on taking profit and reopens itself. Takes a profit and reopens itself. Now, when it reaches the recover point, it will close all hedging positions. So this will open only one. Active will only open one. But dynamic will open two. One passive and one active. So this is this portion which is hedging. Now, there is a big problem that faces anyone that do trading, which is margin call, especially if they hold on to their position for too long and then the position is losing. That's when you hit a margin call. What is a margin call? Basically, the system, the broker, has a margin call percentage, which means if you have, for example, $500 in your account and your position loses 200 or 300, then this percentage is more than 50%. Mostly, the broker will close the account and you will lose those $300 and you will only be left with 200. Some brokers have more percentage, some have less, so you have to check with your broker. So what this system does is, if I enable it, I would say if my margin level drops to 150, basically my margin level in normal conditions will be 300, 400. It depends on the balance that you have and depends on lot sizes that I open, but it will be high. If my margin level drops to 150 and below, then enable or trigger this system. The system will kick in. Now, also I have another option, which is drawdown level. Drawdown level means how many points that I'm losing. So if I have a position that's losing $30, multiply by the size, by the lot size, then I will activate this margin call defender or defeaters system. So what this system does is basically opens a counter position only when I reach a margin call level, and also my drawdown means my positions are in minus. So if they reach $30 in minus, So if I opened, for example, at 1,800, and then the price, and I opened buy, and then the price goes to 1,770. So that means it dropped 30, not in my favor. I'm actually losing. Then this system will kick in, and will open a counter position. So I'll open a sell if I had a buy, or a buy if I had a sell and losing. Now this system will automatically recover once this margin call level goes up. So if my position recovers, then it will close the opposite position or the counter position that I opened, and it will continue with the original position as normal. Now the next portion, which is I know this EA has a lot of features that you can use, and these features are actually in your favor. It's very important to know all these things, and I decided to make a video because I don't want people to read PDF or read text file or whatever. I want it to be easy for people to just follow the video and know exactly what's going on. So the next portion, which is a loss limiter system. Loss limiter system, basically, if I have a position that's losing, and I don't want to use these two options, which is hedging or margin call, I want to just close the position and start fresh. And this is another strategy. Some people prefer this strategy. Basically, I would enable this system, and I will say I want a specific amount. So if I'm losing specific amount, then close this losing position. I don't want it. And then I will start fresh with something else, with other position. Now, I would decide the losing amount, which is $34 or points, and $34, if my position is losing this amount, $34, of course this multiplies by the lot size, which is 0.0 here, or 0.1, 0.1. So if my position is losing, then close it. And I can say also open a counter position. So most likely if my position is losing, that means the opposite position is winning. So that's why I can tell it to open one position. When it closes this main position, it will open another position to gain money. Or I can set this to 0. Don't open any other position. Or I can set this to 5 positions. So whichever I prefer to work with. So now this is the this is the loss limiter. Also, I can use presets. So if I say 10 cross, 20 cross, 30 cross, what does this mean? For example, I bought a position at 1,825. Now, most of the time, if I buy at this price, the price will go up and down, and it will not cross the next 10, or it will not go down below the next 10. So it will not cross the 1,830, and it will not drop below 1,820. So I bought at 1,825. Now, most of the time it goes up tiny bit, goes down a tiny bit, keeps going up and down. But if it crosses up or down, most likely I'm losing. If it doesn't cross, then most of the time I will not lose, even though it shows that my position is in minus, but it might go back. So if I have a buy at 1,825 and then it went down to 1,822, so I'm losing $3 multiplied by the position, by the lot size, and of course the leverage. Now I'm losing $3, but of course not $3. This will be $30. So each $1 will give you 10 because we have leverage 100 and we have lot size 0.1, so we'll give you $10. So each dollar will make you lose $10 each dollar. So if my position was 1,825 and the price went to 1,822, I'm losing $30. My position will show minus 30. Now I can leave it. If I choose this, it will not close the position. It will only close the position if it crosses the next 10 down, because I'm opening buy and my position is losing, so next 10 down. So if it goes to below than 1,820, so we'll go 1,819, then it will close the position. And of course, it will open another position if I have this at 20. Now, if I had a sell, for example, and I have a sell position 1,825, but the price, instead of going down in my favor, it went up opposite to my favor, so I'm losing. But it did not cross the 30. It did not cross 1,830. The position will not close because it might go back again or might go down again. So, but if it crosses the 1,830 and it goes to 1,831, it will close my position. This is the 10 cross. Now there's also 20 cross, so I tell it don't close my position as long as it's between the 10, above 10 and below 10. So I'm giving myself a bit of space to work with because I don't want to always close my position with loss. I want to wait a little bit because sometimes it rebounds. Sometimes the price rebounds. So if it was going up, maybe it goes down again. If it was going down, maybe it will go up again. So this will give you a little bit of space. 30 is same, but I'm giving more space, but this is too much, so I have to be careful with that. And the last one, which is we already talked about, which is specific amount, which is here. So if I use one of these here, then the specific amount will not be used. Now, what is infinity? Infinity means I don't want to close my position ever. But if my position happens to close, if it happens to close manual, for example, then it will open the one position, counter position. That's if I have the system on. So we'll switch this off and go to the next portion. We're almost done. We have a free gliding system. This is one of the best systems that this EA has, which is free gliding system. Basically, this system, as I said before, it's based on patterns. So it sees the patterns, and when it has a match, it has the text come in, and it has the prices go up, go down, whatever, crosses up, crosses down, all these kind of stuff. And then it's like the chart, you know how the chart goes up and down. And then when it sees a match, finds a match, then it will open a position. Now what I have here is I tell it I want the free gliding system to be on, and this is most of the time I have it on. And I tell it open 5 position. So whenever you have a matching pattern, open a position, but maximum of 5. So if I have 5 position at any time, it will not open more. But if one of them closes with loss or with winning, with gains, then it will go and try to match another pattern and open a 5th. So of course this depends on how many positions I have, and also this depends on the amount of money I have. So two factors based on the amount of money that I have, which is the lot size and also how many positions I want to add at a time. Now the next one, which is a unstocking condition. Basically unstocking condition, sometimes I have 5 positions and I'm not gaining or losing, or maybe gaining a little bit or losing a little bit. I want to get out of this situation. So I have, for example, 2 buys and 3 sells, or 3 buys and 2 sells. I want to get out of this situation and start fresh again and find another maybe winning pattern. So what I do is I enable this, and I say the least equity to close all positions. So I say I want to close all positions if all of them are above zero. This is what the zero is for. But sometimes maybe I say if I'm only losing 10. So 10 and up, losing 10 and up, close all positions. This is if I have the unstocking. Maybe I want it if I have 30. So if I have 5 positions, but my gain is okay, is actually above zero, so I'm gaining money, and it's over 30, then close all positions. So whichever works out better for you, but the safest one is above zero. So if I have 5 positions, of course, because my gliding mode is only 5, so it will not open any more positions, so I'm stuck. So I tell it if you are over zero, means I'm not losing money. So 2 buys, 3 sells, but at the end, the total, I'm not losing money. Then close all of them. All right. Now the next system. So I'll put this back to false. The next system, which is balancing system. Balancing system, because I'm opening 5 positions at a time, the maximum positions that I'm allowed to have, or the EA will open at any time, is 5, not more than 5, based on this number here. So I say also balance these positions. Now I can balance. What is the meaning of balancing the positions? Basically, I'm telling it to not open all 5 buy positions or all 5 sell positions, or for example 4 buy positions and only 1 sell position. No, I want it to balance it. Balance the positions, meaning open 2 and 3, 2 buys and 3 sells, or 3 buys and 2 sells. I want a bit of balance. Now, when it reaches 2 and 2, the 5th will be decided on favor of the winning positions, on the favor of winning positions. So if I had two sells and 2 buys, but these 2 sells are losing and 2 buys are winning, so I'll open the 3rd one buy as well. So total will be 5 as I specified in here. Now, this balancing also can be done by weight instead of count. Instead of 2 buys and 3 sells, or 3 sells, 3 buys and 2 sells. No, I want it to be balanced by weight. What is by weight? Basically by the amount of profit or loss each position has. So if I had 2 positions buy and 1 position sell, but the 2 position buy are losing, and the 1 sell is winning, gaining. So the 4th position, if I use the weight, it will be also sell. Why? Because the buy is losing, so I want to counter that. So that's why I open another sell. Also, I might have 1 position buy, but it's losing a lot, $200, for example, and I have 3 positions sell. So normally, if I have the count by count, if I had only 1 position buy and 3 positions sell, normally open another count, another buy. But because if I use the weight system and I had only 1 buy and 3 sells, but the buy is losing a lot, 300 or 200 and minus, and the sells are less than that, better than that, gaining, for example, then it will open another sell. So now will be 1 buy and 4 sells. This is the opening position or balancing positions by weight. Myself, I prefer by count, and I prefer to have what system also with it. I prefer to have this system, loss limiter, with it. This is what I have most of the time. I have the specific amount, and I say I don't want to lose more than $50 for each position. This is what I have. So, and I have as at the end by count. Now the next one, which is when equity is below this. So this is basically, it tells that this system, which is balancing system, will only kick in if my total positions are losing $10. Losing 10 points, not $10, 10 points, and then based on how many, the lot size and leverage. So $10 means 100 if I have 0.1 lot size, means 100. So if my equity, basically equity means all positions together. So I might have 2 winning gaining positions and 3 losing positions, but at the end my equity is losing $100. Then this system will kick in, the balancing system. Of course, I can change this. I can say minus 30. So if my equity is minus 300, this is if I have 0.1 lot size, leverage 100. But basically I use 10 most of the time. Next system, which is daily target. This is actually, this system was, excuse me, this system was actually requested from one of my clients, one of my best clients. And this system basically says, I want to have a daily goal, daily target. If I reach this daily target, don't trade anymore. So if I enable this, and then I say daily target close, I will get back to this. So daily target amount of $N. So this is the points. Basically 5 means, again, we said we'd multiply by leverage, which is my leverage is 100, so 500. And then again we multiply by the lot size, which is 0.1, so it goes back again to 50. So again, if I have the easiest way to look at it, you always have to look at 1 ounce. 1 ounce. So if you have 1 ounce and the leverage is 100, multiplied by 5, that means $500. So if I reach $500 a day, close everything. I don't want to trade anymore. Now, because my lot size is 0.1, this 5 means $50. So if I gain $50 a day, close everything. I don't want to trade anymore. If I gain $100 a day, then close everything. I don't want to trade anymore this day. Next day, start again. Alright, so I have it most of the time at 5. And then this here, what does this mean? Daily target close all positions. I will close all positions immediately. Immediately. What does that mean? It means if I had 5 positions, or I had even 1 position, but this position already gaining 50, maybe 50, 51, 52, whatever, maybe 70, 100, or across the 50. Right away, if it sees that, it will close all open positions. This is live, means this is live equity. Live equity. Now, if I don't have this, what the system will do, it will look at all trades that have been done throughout the whole day. So maybe one of them was -2, 110, one -15, 150, one -30, 170, and then it will add all these together. If it sees at any point that my total gain, so the addition of all these positions in this one day, crossed $50, which is 5 multiplied by my leverage and lot size, then it will not trade anymore. It will close. If there is open positions, it will close them, but it will not trade anymore. So the only difference between having this on or off is this will actually close positions that are momentarily live opened. They're actually opened right now. if it sees that I crossed 50 in my equity, it will close all positions that are opened. And most of the time if I use this system, I should have this to true if I use this system. But I don't have daily target really. Which is sometimes I see it's a good thing to use, but it depends on your strategy basically. Now the next portion, which is trading timing. Trading timing, I want to only trade when Asian market trades. So I specify the time. I say open trading at, for example, 8 a.m. and close at 12 p.m. or 15, which is 3 p.m. So I tell it only trade between these 2 hours from 8 a.m. until 15, which is 3 p.m. I want it to trade 24 hours, then I don't use this system. I don't enable it. I want it to trade specific amount of time, specific amount of hours, then I enable the system and then choose the start time, end time. And it's only by hours. The last thing, which is enable disable equity taking profit. If equity is higher than this dollar amount, take profit. This also a very direct system, which basically what it does is it looks at the equity and it ignores everything else that we have up here, ignores everything. So if my equity has 30 points, 30 points does not mean $30. It means $30 in the price, but multiplied by leverage and my lot size. So this means actually 300. So if I enable this, and at any time it sees that my equity has 300 in profit, it will close the positions that are working now or the open now. And this is okay to have. It's direct. It's some of these other systems might achieve that, but this is more direct. So most of the time I might have this at 100, for example, if I want to enable it, but I can achieve the same thing from others. This is only for ease of use. So this is again the EA for called Lazy Boy Ultimate. This is Trading Robot, Expert Advisor, also called, working on MetaTrader 5 platform, which you can get from mql5.com, and you can get my EA or this EA from the description below in the video.